Everybody. We have a variety of individuals that watch these videos either live on Facebook or on the replays all across the world. So first of all, I want to thank all our international students who are watching these. Want to throw a little shout out to all of you if you guys are interested. If you're internationally and want to get signed up for Note Camp, because today is the last chance to get your $100 off your tickets, to get it at $197 for 4 days of content, VIP seats, video replays, a base camp group.
30 plus speakers.
I know, 30 plus speakers, just a ton of information. Today's the last chance for you to get those tickets. But if you're international, outside the United States, and you send me a flag from your country, I will comp you into Note Camp. All right? So yes, if you'll send me a flag, don't be a big one, preferably a little smaller one so we can actually hang some of them here. We'll comp you into Note Camp. But if you're not, today's the last chance for you to get signed up, and use the code LASTCHANCE, all capitals, no space, at notecamp.live to get your discounted ticket. So just want to throw that out there. But today's topic is all about JV deals. It's like one of the, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's one of the most asked, sought out, and overestimated questions out there that I get from people all the time. What goes into a JV deal? And I get it, if you've never done a deal before, it's a little intimidating to think about what kind of agreement you have to write up. What goes into a JV deal? So let's talk about JV deals this day. It is Friday, so I figured it'd be a great way for you guys to understand what's going on in different deals. So make sure you got a piece of paper, pen, stab your hand or something like that if you don't have anything to write with. And you write it in blood, because that's what a JV deal is. I'm just joking. A JV deal is simply a written conversation on who's going to handle what in a real estate transaction and how people are going to be compensated. All right? So there's basically two schools of thought. One, either people are offered a 12% return or a flat rate on their investment money. If they're going to lend you money, they'll either lend you at a flat return, like a loan, or they'll be an equity partner where they get a percentage of the back end profits, where once the deal is closed out, the investment is returned, your expenses are covered, and then the profits are split accordingly to a percentage of what you guys or gals outline in the JV agreement. Now, the flat interest rate, that could be a variety of payment plans. It could be monthly, quarterly, biannually, annually, one lump sum at the end with the return of principal. There's a whole variety of different ways to set up the payment plan, and you do it at a variety of different interest rates. It's up to you and how good a negotiator you are with your potential funding partners to see what they're looking for and if you can create a win-win. Now, in some cases, people will do a combination, flat interest rate and an equities percentage. I don't usually do that. If I'm going to have to make you payments quarterly, that's about all you're going to get. All right? If you want bigger money, you're going to be involved in the deal. I'm not going to be making payments out to you. You're going to be involved in the deal so that when we end up closing it out, that's when you make your money. Now, I have JV deals of both styles. Some flat interest rates, and I also have some lump stuff at the very back end. I've had people ask for, I want to get 12% of my money and half the profits, and I say, no, thank you, okay? What you have to realize is there's a lot of cheap money out there right now, ladies and gentlemen, and it's all about how you can talk and get the word out on what you're doing. Now, it all comes with marketing. Reaching out to self-directed IRA investors are a great way to be able to raise capital, and I want to throw a little shout out to Quest IRA. I will be up in Seattle, Washington, Monday night, speaking at the Quest IRA All-Pro event. Really excited about it. If you have not RSVP'd because you're not in Seattle, trust me, I get it. It's going to be a little later at night, 8 o'clock Pacific, 8:30 Pacific, Central Time, 6:30 Pacific Time. So this will be really late, starting at 9:30, but we will live stream it. I'll post the link here in the comments below if you want to RSVP to watch the live stream. We won't do a Monday note like we normally do, everybody, because I'll be on the Pacific Coast getting prepped for the All-Pro event. But that's the thing. If you want to reach out to IRA investors or go to the Quest IRA events or Mid-Atlantic or NewView or IRA Services, whoever, it is that you want to. A lot of IRA investors are looking for a flat return on their money because their money is making zilch right now. And they can't touch the money. Now, some of them may need payments. Some of them, when you're borrowing money from people, they may need a flat payment sometimes, maybe quarterly. Maybe they need to live on that money because they need that extra money coming in. So it's all about negotiations, whether you want to do it quarterly, monthly, one lump sum, end of the year. That is all in discussion. Now, what else is covered in the JV agreement? Let's go through that. Well, it's going to basically outline worst case scenarios. What happens? How often are you going to review the properties? Who's going to handle the insurance? Who's going to handle repairs? What happens if the note becomes performing? What's the timelines? Okay? Those are all important conversations to have. And the biggest mistake I see people doing is they're setting JV deals up for less than 12 months. I think you've got to set your money partners up to be in the deal for 12 to 18 months. Anytime it's less than 6 months, a lot of funky things can happen in the note business where servicing gets delayed or foreclosure gets started. Things get delayed. People file bankruptcy. Don't set yourself up for failure and do it for 6 months or less. Do it for 12 to 18. All right? Another thing, have a clause in there. You want to talk about if you go over fees, you may want to add a little bit of extra money into your JV agreement above and beyond what you're funding to cover expenses, unless you've got money to cover the foreclosure servicing costs along the way. Make sure you cover your expenses in the JV agreement. Now, we're not talking about an enormous amount. We're not talking about add 30 grand to it, but adding 3 to 5 grand is very normal because you'll have those type of expenses. And if the return on investment to the investor on the back end when the deal is done makes sense, great. Who cares? Put that extra money in there. Cover your expenses. Cover your assets. Okay? You guys are starting to think like I do. This is kind of scary. All right? So, what questions is anybody asking about JV deals? Any of the FUPAs? Okay. So, one thing about a JV deal. It's basically about a 2 to 3 page agreement. You have the people sign off on it. It becomes something that you send into Quest or whoever you're using to fund the deals. And it's a JV deal. It outlines time frames. They got to sign it. Some people want to get notarized. You don't really need it notarized, but just getting it signed is important enough and good enough. But it's not really a long 20-page document. It's usually 2 to 3 page JV deal for the most part. But one big thing about this, you only do it one investor at a time. You don't go pool money. You keep it to one investor at a time. Now, if you've got 3 or 4 investors that are working together, make them create an LLC, and then you borrow that money from the LLC. Okay? JV deals are an important aspect of it. Don't be scared of it. Using OPM is a normal nature of the business out there. A couple of things you'll want to also include in your JV deal is mailing instruction for notifications, best way to be contacted, how often and frequently you promise to provide updates. Insurance. You may also want to include a clause in there that you may, if you do have exceeded expenses or you have a longer than expected foreclosure process, do you have a clause when they go back and ask for more money? You're going to also want to outline the payment plan. Who gets in, first out. Investment money goes out first. When you do close the deal, expenses are second. And then profits are split up, and how's that affiliated? There's a whole variety of different things that you can add in there, but it's literally just a conversation. My JV deals have evolved every year. They have changed, reformatted, add a little something new. You may want to add an arbitration clause in there in case anybody sues you, so you're not getting sued. It goes to arbitrator. There's a whole variety of different things you add, but literally, it's just a conversation, everybody. You know, you can often Google and find a JV agreement out there. You probably want to make some tweaks. I always, when I send a JV agreement over to a funding partner, I send it to them in Word so they can take a look at it. And if they have anything they want to change, let me know. We'll discuss it. One thing I don't do is I don't like people coming back. The most I'll pay is 12% interest rate. I've had somebody come back and say, "Oh, I want 15." I'm like, "Yeah, no, you're not going to get half of it. You'll get 12, and you'll like it. If otherwise, I will find cheaper money." And that's the biggest thing. If you have somebody that won't send you a bank statement or a proof of funds statement along with a pledge letter, you're never going to get them to that JV agreement. All right? So there's a process, talking with people, communicating what's going on, getting them to send you a pledge letter, which is just an email saying, "Hey, I want to invest some money with you," bank statement, investor questionnaire, then JV agreement, and then you're closing on a deal. Usually you're going to have them wired directly to the bank. Some cases you'll have them wired directly to you if you already own the assets and you're pulling your own money out or doing a variety of things. So, any questions, Nicole?
Yeah, David Moseri. Do you register the note with just your name or both you and the JV investor?
That's a great idea. I mean, that's a great question. It depends. It's a conversation. Anytime you register with more than one party, you're going to have more signatures and more notaries to keep in mind. So some of my JV investors don't want to have their entity on the assignments. They just rather, hey, just send me a check. So we'll put it in one entity. One thing you may want to look at, if you're in a state that authorizes you to use series LLCs, that may be something you want to spend the extra money, $1,500 to set up, because then you have multiple series across the board where in the operating agreement it outlines that Nicole LLC is partnered with Scott LLC, and so inside that operating agreement on the actual notes it says series Inverse Ventures Series A. If I did a deal with Greg, it would maybe be Series B, Series C if it was with Jen over here. So you can do that where it's just one entity and then you're the author signer, but they're basically in the operating agreement for the LLC. You don't. It doesn't have to be just a series LLC, but a series LLC is kind of nice so you don't have to create new LLCs all the time. Okay? Any other questions? That was a good question. Mm-hmm. I've done JV deals as little as $15,000 all the way up to $1 million, everybody. Okay? You just want to outline, have a conversation. And that's the great thing about a JV deal. I'm like, listen, here's our normal JV agreement. If you have a few things you want to tweak, if you want to have your attorneys review it, by all means, it's okay to go ahead and do that. I encourage that. Just as long as they let me know what they're tweaking, and if I'm comfortable with that, great. If there's some things I'm not comfortable, hey, I'm not going to do that. It's okay to push back a little bit if you need to. Okay? I am liking the fact that Facebook updates allowed us to do it, horizontally versus vertically. You get much more of the flag. So much more of Scott. No. It's Friday, everybody. Trying to have a little bit of fun here. I fly out to Seattle Sunday morning. We were going to try to fly out Saturday, but we decided to stay an extra day here and knock out some stuff. Trying to prep for our mastermind that takes place next week here in Austin. We're at 62 people.
Awesome.
63, I think. I got one guy that's supposed to call me today. He's like, hey, I'm thinking. I'm like, no, don't think. You need to call me today. Just do it. That's right. Just do it. Cool. So JV deals aren't that difficult, guys. It's all about a conversation. A lot of times JV deals will start out in napkins and then evolve into a written document.
I think George has a question, but I'm not sure if it's unless it's a statement. It says only one JV per note, or is that?
Yes, only one JV partner per note deal. That's correct. You don't want to have 12 JV deals on one note deal. That's pooling money. The only way to be able to do it through is a securities attorney, have a securities license, or had a private placement memorandum. So. It's the end of March, everybody. Got to realize this. Today's the last day. The year is flying by. 25% of the way done, right?
Gracious.
It's craziness. What are you getting done this year? If you haven't made offers, you haven't closed deals up to your standard, you've got to ramp things up. So one of the biggest things you need to do is look at your schedule to see what you're doing to ramp up your deal flow. All right? Does it need to make more offers? Do you need to make more phone calls? You can drop more emails to asset managers. There's a whole variety of different things that you should be doing on a regular basis.
Fernando Murel.
Yeah.
He asked, "Does the JV need to be deal specific? Can it be a blind deal?"
Well, yes, that's a great question. Good to see you, Fernando. Glad talking. Some people just want to lend money. Hey, I'll give you $50,000 or $100,000 for 12 months. That's a JV deal. It can be kind of a blind one if they're comfortable with that. Hey, I trust you. Here's a written document. Go make things happen. Just give me back my quarterly payments or monthly payments, and at the end of the year, we'll talk about renewing it and extending it to go from there. So that's a great question, Fernando. Yes, it can be blind. We've got several blind general lending agreements with people out there.
That's when you just write them a check at the end of it.
Yeah, basically, okay, here you lend $50,000. We're doing it for a year at 12%. Great. Here's your check back for $56,000. Yeah, okay. That kind of stuff. If you guys are interested, we always have a variety of different JV deals available for you guys out there. I know I sent out documents this morning to 3 investors ranging from, if you're interested, we're not going to do a deal below $25,000. It's just we don't really like to do those. We'd rather look at $50,000 funding or greater because of the fact of time and expenses and things like that along the way. We can make stuff happen, but it's often better if you're looking at your JV deals to be at least 50K or better. One big caveat, one big alert: do not take somebody's last 25 or 10 grand or 15 grand. They will bother you to death with questions. Okay? Well, how's that going? How's that working? Oh my gosh.
You're 2 weeks in.
2 weeks in. Give me a break. The ink's not even dry yet, man. We just finished closing. Another thing is you have to express. This is one of the big things that I do. This is why I tell my JV partners, you should go through my virtual workshop. You're going to learn more, and this is not a pitch for the workshop. You're going to learn more about the industry, and you're going to ask a whole lot less questions. You're going to be a lot more educated investor, which is what you're looking for. This is why I like dealing with self-directed IRA investors, because they've been to workshops. They're pretty educated, but often they're too scared to pull the trigger themselves, so they'd rather, I want to hold your hand, Greg. Can you hold my hand? Come on. I want to hold your hand. I was really wanting you to hold my hand.
I think he really wants you to hold my hand.
Help me. Can you walk me through it? Can you help me learn why I earn, basically, is a great thing to look at. So, not difficult. It's kind of an easy conversation. The more prepared you are to deal, and the more deals you've done, it gets much more natural every time. The first one is always the scariest. The idea is just to talk about the deal. Know what's going to happen. Know the expectations. Give the expectations, and cover. It's your CYA. Cover your assets. What happens when it goes bad? If it goes bad, what's the process? You may have a clause in there. Well, either if the deal goes south, I may swap you, move your equity, or move your money to another deal, which is something that we have done, or we can pay you back in assets if you like that.
Will you have to write up a new JV agreement after? No.
No, good question, Nicole. Actually, all you really need is a one-page amendment to it.
Oh, okay. David asked another question. What are the benefits of JV partners over bank loans?
Well, okay, here's a big thing. JV partners, you're not personally responsible. They're basically non-recourse loans. Okay? A bank loan, you're not going to get a bank loan for a note deal. So that's the big thing. If you're a note investor, you're not going to be able to go to the bank and get a bank loan. Now, yes, if you've got a line of credit, that's a different story. That's based on you, your house, whatever it is. But with note deals, you're not going to go get a bank's not going to give you a loan on a note. It's just not going to happen because there's already a loan on it. There's already a lien on it. That's what you're buying. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Plus, with bank loans, you got to go qualified. They only allow you to have 10 mortgages in your business name or your personal name. So you're going to be capped out very, very quickly on that aspect. So while bank loans are great for lines of credit, they're not really applicable in the note business. Which David asked that?
Moseri?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking, was that your dad?
No.
So your dad's probably at Quest this morning. No, it's good.
Probably.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
So best way to find JV partners, go hang out where JV partners hang out. Self-directed IRA events, our real estate investment clubs. I picked up and we're back. All right, so we gotta love the internet kicked us out here, but I think it was a good little transition aspect there from the first one. So as I was talking before Facebook cut me off, I was talking about places to find JV partners for your JV deals. And I was talking about wine clubs. I'm not talking about being a wino, but a wine club is a great place to get people that just are sitting around talking, okay? I love going to vineyards. I like going to breweries, but I actually like going to vineyards better because it's much more laid back. People will often be, let's just say, drinking a glass of wine with their pinky up a little bit. It's a great place because at wine clubs, it's often they'll have live music or it's an evening, just laid back, people visiting. Great networking aspect, especially get a little bit of wine when they loosen up a little bit. And it's a great opportunity to start making friends. Now, I wouldn't go in with like a flyer of your deals and everything like that unless it's actually a REI club meeting at a vineyard or tasting room. But go in with business cards. Hey, it was great visiting with you. What's your favorite? What's your tasting? And go from there. Now, this is part of the reason that we did a mastermind in Napa last summer because it was just a great time, people networking. What was also great is that I made some relationships with people at the different vineyards afterwards. When we stayed for a couple days afterwards to enjoy it, go out and hit a couple vineyards that we didn't hit with a group, and just visiting with people, talking with people. You start to, in a couple places, we saw similar people. So people wearing, from Texas, we visit, hey, you're from Texas, so are we. talking with them, exchanging business cards. Just is a great place to really meet a lot of high quality individuals. Country clubs. I know that Julian Sadati, an attorney out of Temecula, joined a country club just for the networking side of it, and she was well worth the time. So it also allows you to have a little bit of fun while you're working. Okay, we'll actually once we get through probably this hectic April and May, when we come back June, July, we're probably going to do a networking event with Quest IRA at one of the local water to wine vineyards as well. It's kind of a fun thing. So, any other questions on take number 2 on JV deals?
Not yet.
Another place to find great JV partners besides your wine clubs, your REI clubs, things like that, is sporting events. I go to a lot of sporting events. You never know who you'll be sitting with, and the better your seats are, the better the clientele is around you. There's been many times when I've been at baseball games, we get to talk to people next to us, people behind us, people in front of us, and just, hey, what do you do? What are you going on? And especially when you say, hey, I've been to 22 of the parks for the last 3 years. Like, whoa, what do you do? And you exchange business cards, and you never know who you're going to run into later on. But literally, it's all about just communicating, sharing what's going on, and finding out where high net worth individuals hang out. I would not... I've had people call me in the past, hey, we provide a list of everybody that owns a luxury car in Miami, like a Lamborghini or a Porsche or greater. Those would be great sales leads. I'm like, yeah, actually, no, those would not be great sales leads for me for the most part. Because most of the time, and this is nothing personal against anybody that runs a Porsche, a Lamborghini, or anything like that, most people are pretty conceited if they're driving a Porsche. Well, no, sorry, a Lamborghini, I would say, for the most part, which is fine. But those high net worth individuals often have enough people throwing money at them or throwing things at them. And then you got to go through their attorneys or everything like that to get them to do something. So anytime you can sit down with somebody one-on-one, visit with them, have a conversation, and just share what's going on. And if anything to keep in mind when you're talking to people, when networking, use the form method. Where are you from? What's your occupation? What do you do for fun? And then your message. Okay? Where are you from, Nicole? All right. What do you do? Because usually what happens when they ask you, what do you do? They're going to be cordial enough to say, well, tell me, what do you do? All right? What do you do for fun? You watched that game last weekend? Woo! Patriots came back and kicked the Falcons' ass. Woo! All right. Or did you see that last night? San Antonio blew a 22-point lead to the freaking Golden State Warriors. What's up with that? Come on, Pop.
Pop.
Come on, Pop. Get those guys playing. That's the basic thing. Where are you from? What do you do? Do you come to the games often? Do you come here often? And then your message. Your message doesn't have to be anything complicated. Be very simple. I think the best line I've ever heard from somebody is Steve Lloyd at the Distressed Mortgage Expo in New Jersey a few months ago. Talk about I raise capital for projects, for real estate projects. I'm like, oh my God. That hits so many things and it's so good. I raise capital for real estate projects. If you don't get anything else out of this, you might want to write that down and tag it and post it somewhere. So, what we're going to do, I got something for people to do. Actually, I'm going to wait till Monday till we roll that out. So, once again, everybody, that's kind of the basic for the JV part 2 of today's Note Closer show. Once again, it is the last chance for you to get $100 off of NoteCamp.live. Go to NoteCamp.live. You use the special code LASTCHANCE, all caps, no space, to get $100 off your VIP seats to NoteCamp. We're right at 20 days and an hour, I think, or an hour and a half, 2 hours to get rock and roll. Now, a couple of things. We got some cool new additions to NoteCamp Live. Some new evolution, mutations that'll be positive for everybody. So, other than that, guys, it's Freaky Friday. I'm having a fun time. You guys go out, make something happen this weekend, and hopefully we'll see you either in Seattle or on the live stream, and I'll put the link below for you guys to get RSVP for that. What?
Talk about the international investors.
Oh, once again, international investors. Thank you very much, Nicole. We love knowing who our international investors are. So if you're interested, send me a flag of your country, and we'll be glad to comp you into NoteCamp or the virtual note buying for dummy, depending on when your flag arrives. So do that. You can send to the offices here in Austin, Texas, and we'll see you all at the top. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.